Hello, all. It is Thursday, January 24th, 2019. My name is Doris, and this is the Knit and Purl Podcast, episode 168. I don't know the title yet. That is yet to be determined. In social media, I am One Fine Cow, all spelled out on Ravelry and Twitter. I am One Fine Design, the number one, on Facebook and Etsy, and I am Doris M. Smith, all lowercase and smooshed together on Instagram. You can find the show notes for this podcast on knitandpurl-doris.blogspot.com. This podcast also has a Ravelry group, which is the Knit and Purl Podcast group. But alas, you don't have to remember all of that stuff. In the down bar below, there is a link to the show notes, and in the show notes at the top is a link to all my social medias. You can go and click and follow me there. And there's also a link in the bottom for the Ravelry group. So there you go. I do every podcast a birthday shout out for the Ravelry group, and this time it's from January 16th through the end of the month. We have two birthdays. We have Brian Knits 12, who's Brian. His birthday was on the 18th of January. And we have Hot Needles X2, who is Sherry, and her birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday, y'all. I hope that you had a wonderful birthday, that you got good fibery gifts, that you got to spend time with friends and family, that you had just a wonderful time. And also that you enjoyed your version of a birthday cake. Happy birthday. And if it's your birthday during this time and you don't share your birthday on Ravelry, happy birthday to you as well. So that brings us to Story of the Week and Stash Enhancement. And let me try to get my notes whether... Okay. There's no new stash. I did not buy any new yarn that I remember. That means it doesn't count. No, I didn't buy any. So, and I have done more crocheting than knitting this last 2 weeks. So, which is, you'll see that in the finished objects. We did have a pretty good snow after the last podcast, and I spent the weekend inside doing a little extra cooking and crafting. But it didn't snow enough that I was able to take Monday off, darn it. And the thing about that is, okay, so Ted and my brother took my car on Sunday just to check the roads and make sure everything was cool, because my car was safer than he drives a rear wheel drive. He has a real, I can't even say it, rear wheel drive truck that's not as great to drive, and I have a front wheel drive SUV type car, whatever. So they took it, but they cleaned it off, but they didn't clean off the top. So when I went out Monday morning, there was like, I don't know, 6 inches of snow on the top of my car with an ice piled on top of it. So yeah, I had my car on and I was like banging, breaking up the ice and sweeping it off the top of my car. And in the process, I was standing 1 minute and on my hips the next. Yeah, that hip is still sore. When we get a little older, it's kind of hard to fall, and then it doesn't, the aches and pains don't go away as fast as when you're younger. Anyway, I survived, no broken bones, just a little hip sore. Okay. Also, I have done a little bit of vicarious crafting, thinking about things that I want to do. And I saw this person I'll have to do it on my iPad. I saw this thing on Christy Glass Knits. And since then, I'm sorry, I gotta take this out. I can't stop looking at it, and I swear I'm gonna do it. I'm going to make me one of these. So I'm just gonna bring it up. She was on Christy Glass's channel, and she is by Polly V on Instagram, and there's a link in the show notes to her. What is going on here? Okay. There's a link to her Instagram feed, so you can go have a look yourself, because oh my gosh, let me just stop for a minute so I can just show you what I'm talking about. She's right at the top of my search because I've been looking at her a lot. This lady, oh my goodness. This is just one of the things that she does. Ugh. Okay, so I'm going to show you more. This one just really, oh my goodness, look at that. Anyway, I have been looking at these things, and as soon as I get a few things off done, I am going to make mine. It's just like this, what does she call it? Freelance crochet, where you just make a wrap and then you make these flowers and appliques and just decorate it any way you want. Oh my gosh, I'm going to make me one of those. Oh. So that's what's been my free time has been looking at Polly V's Instagram feed. Also, I've been dream knitting another Tecumseh in some colors that would be more what I would like. So anyway, let's move along, because this week I did get a health pearl, and it is 15 genius ways to not get sick this winter, which, you know, we're in winter, cold and flu season. So there are 15 things, and I'm going to read through and try to highlight some of the things. The first one is keep your toes toasty. And this study says that when your chilly toes tell your brain to conserve body heat, in turn reducing blood flow to areas that lose heat quickly. Decreasing blood flow means fewer infection-fighting white blood cells, leaving you more vulnerable to viruses. So get out those hand knit socks. That's what I've been wearing a lot. Swish salt water. They say that, you know, we normally would gargle with salt water when we've got a sore throat. This says if you do it, let's see. Scientists found swishing a mixture of 8 ounces of warm water and a half a teaspoon of salt at least 10 seconds twice a day cuts a person's risk of viral infection as much as 34%. We are breathing in sickness-causing bacteria and viruses. They can get stuck in the mucous membranes of the back of your throat. By gargling, we might get rid of some of that. There you go. Number 3 is to pass on the pain meds, and it says that taking the anti-inflammatory, non-steroidal things like ibuprofen and stuff can compromise the natural protective components, including white blood cells. They are the very agents responsible for attacking and destroying invading germs. So it says try to steer clear of those things unless you really, really need them. Exercise daily. It reduces the stress hormone that, okay. Regular exercise stimulates the brain to produce more serotonin and dopamine and human growth hormone. These components help your body optimize production of germ-fighting antibodies. Sip on some tea, which it suggests that people produce 3 times more interferons, powerful proteins that destroy viral invaders on contact, if you sip 20 ounces of black tea daily. There you go. Turning on the tube, relaxing, helps decrease the cortisol, kind of like the exercise helps. Anyway, if you want to go more in depth, I'm not going to read all of this. We don't got time for that. So consider crafting, because it also works like exercise and increases the good things and decreases the bad things. Sleep more. Get a massage. Also works the same as exercise, decreasing the bad hormones, increasing the good hormones. Eat breakfast. Breakfast eaters are half as likely to fall prey to viral infections as regular breakfast meals. Triples the body's production of gamma interferon, a natural antiviral component. Clean your phone, just like cleaning your doorknobs and all of that stuff to prevent the spread of cold flu viruses. Turn down the heat, because dry, warm heat destroys the mucus in your nose, and that helps to stave off some of that bad germs. Take time to meditate. Meditation also will help the same way exercise and relaxing with the good and bad hormones. Actually wash your hands instead of just using the antibacterial soap or antibacterial, hand sanitizer. And finally, don't touch your face. We carry a lot of our germs in our hands. Touching your face where the mucous membranes are. There you go. Okay, 15 things to do to help to prevent being sick this cold and flu season. Shall we go on to the foes? The knitting now. I have 2 finished objects. The first one is the Midwife Baby Blanket, which is a free pattern on Ravelry that takes you by Rebecca Langford. Is linked in Ravelry to her blog for the pattern. The yarn I used was the Cartapo AF Soft Pink, and I used the J hook. And it is complete and ready to go. I'm going to sit back so you can see it. I did steam block it to open up the lace, and it's beautiful. I love it. Now I'll bring it up closer so you can get a better look at the stitches and such. This is actually, you saw it last week, and this is actually a replica of the blanket seen in the series called The Midwives. And on a side note, Marley is coming next Thursday. The baby that I've made this for is going to be delivered by cesarean next Thursday, January 31st. So, the second and final finished object is the Virus Shawl, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Julia Marquide. The yarn is, I love this yarn, from Hobby Lobby in the colors Cypress Landing and Denim. The hook I used was a J. I started this when I went home to see my sister the first weekend in December. And I went on the back burner for reasons of getting a baby blanket and other things done. So after finishing the baby blanket, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pull that virus out. And I did. I used 2 skeins of this Aspen Landing and then probably 3/4 of a skein of the denim color. And it's huge. It's roomy. It's warm. I also steam block this to open up the lace. So I'll show you the fit. I used worsted weight and I used a J hook, and you get this big roomy and almost 3 skeins of yarn. And you get this big roomy, comfortably warm, snuggly shawl. I'm going to turn it around. It goes way down in the back. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I love it. It's done. Sip some tea. This is not tea that will help. This is just some herbal tea. It will help because it's a tension tamer. So that's all the finished objects. So we're going to whips. The Tecumseh, which is a paid for pattern on Ravelry by Caitlin Hunter, who is Boylan Knits. The yarn I'm using is the Kartapu Hobium Yarns Kotapu. I can't say that word. Kartapu Cozy Wool Sport in gray, yellow, and smoky gray. The needles are US 6s or US 4s and US 6s, and I'm using 40-inch circulars. And here's where I am. Not much further than last week. Let me try to fold this so there's where I was last week. So I finished the color work and I'm knitting, and I probably have like 2 or 3 more rows, 2 rows, 3 more rows before I get to the 9 inches before or after the armhole. I'm going to keep the stitches on the needle, grab another for US 6, and start and finish the sleeves, and then go back and probably add a few more inches to the body before I do the ribbing. There it is. It's beautiful. Can't wait to get it done. It's gonna probably need, I'm gonna wet block this because this yarn is, here's what it looks like. Reasonably priced. It's a nice yarn. It feels good. It's 25% wool and 75% acrylic. It feels really nice. So I'm looking forward to wearing this for the first time. But like I said, didn't get a lot done, but enough to show. The socket hat over here in my bowl by my yarn bowl by Neo Pottery. Nice, lovely. I have the socket hat, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Kelly McClure. The yarn is On the Round signature sock yarn in the Crime of Passion colorway. Let me get it up closer to the camera so you can see the color. I love it. This yarn was in my stash and I was looking at it and I'm like, you know what? It's not doing me any good just sitting here. I'm going to knit it. So that's marker. It's where I was last time. So I've got an inch or two done. So pretty. I'm going to do probably, I don't know. It's going to be a little slouchy. See what I got so far. Yeah, I might, no. Yeah, I'll probably do another inch or so and then start decreasing. Oh, it feels so good on my head. Okay. The needles I'm using are Knitter's Pride Dreams. It's a 3mm, which is a US 2.5, and it's a 40-inch circular. And something that I started that you haven't seen, of course, unless you follow me on Instagram. After I finished the baby blanket, I'm like, oh, I need to make a sweater or something for this new baby coming. So I started the Garter Yoke baby sweater. This is like my third one I've knit. It is a free pattern on Ravelry by Jennifer Hull. The yarn is being blown out. There you go. The yarn is a Lion Brand ice cream in the color 201 Cotton Candy. So pretty. The needles are I think this is a US 6. Yes. My Knitter's Pro Zing interchangeable US 6, and I was using a 40-inch, and I think I went down to a 32 for the sleeves. One sleeve is done. The other sleeve is almost done, and then I have to do the button band, and this will be complete. It is 6 to 12 months size. So yay. You notice the bottom is also has the garter ridges and the cuff of the sleeve also. So pretty, so cute. Can't wait for it to be done. That is all. Spinning, I spun a little bit on what I've been working on, which is the Into the Whirl Sansa. The fiber that was gifted to me a few years ago. Thank you. Yeah. And I did not get a Pinterest. So at the bottom of the screen, there is in the down bar below, there's a link to my Etsy store. So please go over, have a look around, like a few things. If you find something that you just really need, I will happily sell it to you. And you all be safe, stay warm, and I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of the Knit and Purl podcast.